So guys, welcome so much. So welcome to the Muhombo Live, and it's my first time ever of doing this show. And if it's your first time, obviously it's your first time also, as it's the first time for me. And I'm very happy to welcome you on the Muhombo Live. I'm sure you don't know anything about it, but I will explain everything later on. I want to welcome also the guy who I am with today, my guest, Mr. Danny Abroad. Welcome, bro. So I am Bertin Victoire. I am from Congo in Africa, and this is my friend Daniel. He's going to present himself later on. But before we continue with our Muhombo Live session of today, I just wanted to explain a little bit about what is Muhombo Live. I just want to create a platform where we can exchange easily about our cultures from all around the world. Okay, it can seem kind of not possible, but we can exchange about our cultures from all around the world. It's possible if you continue to watch Muhombo Live and be part of this big community. So let's continue.
Another culture to learn.
Another place to know. Learn from the other side of the world.
Know about other life.
With Muhombo Live.
Okay, so welcome back to Muhombo Live, and today I am with my friend Daniel, as I told you before. And Daniel, I'm sure people would like to know more about you.
Well, I've been introduced as Danny Abroad, but my real names are Mugume Daniel Emmanuel, and I'm from Uganda.
Oh, that's good. You're from Uganda.
Yeah.
I think we are going to speak more about Uganda, as already you already raised up that thing. I am from Congo too, and we are from Africa. Both we found ourselves here in India. Like right now we are recording from India. We found ourselves here in India. And there are so many things which we saw as differences between India and Africa. And that's the topic which we are going to discuss about today. Some similarities and differences which Africa has with India. But before we even go so far, I would like Mr. Daniel to explain a little bit about your origins. Okay, I'm going to explain also about my origins, but I would like to know about your origins as an African. Can you explain a little bit to us about your origins, your country, where you're from in your country again, because there are more deep origins from your country?
Yeah. Well, my origins are starting from the place where I was born, Uganda, from Kasese district, which is a district that actually borders Congo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So then another thing is that my language is that I speak Runyankore, because most guys have been asking me like which language I speak.
Okay.
I speak Runyankore from Ankore Kingdom. Okay, there is no Ankore Kingdom. Yeah. The kingdoms were removed basically, which is something that I think we are going to discuss here. But my language is from Ankore, then it also has similarities with Chiga. So my mom is actually Mchiga, and then my dad is Nyankore, something like that. So complicated.
It's now too much complicated even for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically those are my origins, from small district of Kasese. But we now live in Chiruhura, which is where most Banyankore are concentrated.
Okay, but the place which you just mentioned is not the place of Banyankore, because you said they are concentrated, but it's not their place.
No, it's not their place.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a little bit same with me. As I said, I'm going also to give my origins. Actually, I'm from Congo, and Congo is in central part of Africa, obviously. And in Congo, I'm from the eastern region of Congo. Like my origins of both my father and my mother, they're from the eastern region of Congo. And they are from a province which is called North Kivu. Okay, in French is Nord Kivu, but in English is North Kivu. And this province is the province which borders Rwanda and Uganda. Yeah, because
that Kivu National Park.
Exactly. Virunga. The Virunga National Park is in Kivu. The Virunga National Park, in fact, is one. I don't know if it's one of the wonders of the world. I don't know, but it just has some certain stuff of the world, which I don't remember very well. Yeah, I don't remember what's it, but it has something which is relatively to the world. You can just type it on Google, the Park of Virunga, you will know it. But that the place where I am from. But the tribes of both my mother and my father are not famous tribes in the country. Like Congo has so many tribes, more than 200. But those which are more kind of famous are those tribes which have the major languages. There are languages which are national languages of the country, like Chiluba, Kikongo. So there are tribes from those, those tribes, like Bakongo, Baluba. There are those Bakasai. They have so many people. But the tribes of my father and my mother, they don't have like so many people in the country, but they're just there. They are Bahunde and Banyanga. Like my father, he's from Banyanga, and my mother, she's from Bahunde. But I'm basically from North Kivu, a very blessed place, very good, many minerals. Like it's it's a region which has everything basically. Okay, we are not here to advertise our origins, but those are origins. I just wanted us to explain about our origins so that people will know that we are not from Africa for nothing. We have been in Africa since our young age, and we came to India like after living in Africa for real.
And also in Uganda there are over like 60 languages, and Nyankore is one of the languages, and actually the president of Uganda, that's the language that he speaks, and that's his origin is Nyankore.
Privilege.
Yeah, so so the most actually is also from Chiruhura.
Okay.
Same district there.
Okay.
So basically, let me see, like the most common languages are Nyankore, Ruchiga, Ruganda, and Uganda comes from the word Buganda Kingdom, which is one of the places the British got concentrated in. Like they settled in Kampala, and then they made it a city. So most people in Uganda know some Uganda because it's the main capital, and so basically you're required to know some language because that's where most of the trade happens. So
yeah,
that's one of the common spoken languages, but it's not the national language.
I get it. I think you should just get a day of explaining to us more about Uganda, because it sounds even interesting to me, since it's even one of the places which hosts many of Indians in Africa. Uganda. I think we should get a day which you explain to us more about Uganda. So without even losing time, why do you think we can compare Africa and India?
Yeah, I think the reasons why we can compare Africa with India, it's because we have a lot of similarities, and we have some aspects of the Indian culture that have been integrated into African culture that we use them.
Really?
We don't know about.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Because for example, like the Swahili language.
Okay.
It has some Indian components of the Indian culture and languages. For example, like kitabu, which means
exactly
book in Hindi, and it means also
even pesa, like
pesa.
I usually hear that the first time when I heard that, someone saying, just like you see these people will be begging in the streets, and then they told me, just tell them no pesa, and I was like, this is Swahili. Like for those who don't know, Swahili, it's an African language. Basically it's the language which I speak also. Like from the eastern side of Congo we speak Swahili, though we don't speak the good one. The good one is like from Tanzania, Zanzibar, those places. But I've been there too, that's why at least I knew the better Swahili. But there are so many similarities here. On the case of language, there are so many similarities on that. Like, which are the similarities?
Yeah, the other similarities are food, which are like chapati.
Oh, yeah.
So originally we are not making chapatis.
Don't you think they were imported from, like, the culture of chapati was taken from maybe India or any other place?
Yeah, especially that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Where Swahili was born from, where it started from like as you've said, the real Swahili that is spoken from Tanzania and Kenya, they are on the Indian Ocean.
So exactly.
Most Indians, when they coming to Africa, because of the monsoon winds, they used to come in the monsoon season. Their boats would be blown by those winds, and then they are brought to the Indian Ocean, and then they do trade, and then they settle there. So you'll find most Indians in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, then also South Africa because of the British who took them there for some work.
That's a very good thing. And so let's talk a little bit about your culture. I'm sure there's so many things which I can say that your culture have. Traditions. How do you see the tradition of where you are from? Like as you explained. Like the tradition of where you are from comparatively to the traditions of where you are right now, like we're in Gujarat. The traditions of where you are from and the traditions of Gujarat. How different do you see them to be?
Well, according to what I know, the traditions of Gujarat, I've seen they are kind of diverse, because when you go to the sides of Junagadh, you find people who are sort of like African Indians. Those, I've forgotten how they call
Sidis.
it. Yeah, the CD community. So you kind of find of that kind of diversity, but when you compare Gujarati's size to Uganda's size, I think Uganda will have more diversity than Gujarati itself. Because in Uganda you'll find like a region like Kasese, it has, where I was born from, it has short people, very short Pygmies. Then you find tall people all living together, different cultures and different languages. Even though as a country they would like to assimilate all their languages, and then they be like, that's the language they speak, which is forgotten the language.
Is it Nyankore?
No, it's not. It's
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So you find like they just combine that language, and then they say that the people of that area speak that language. But there is a lot of diversity, and then when you move to some areas like of around Uganda, you'll find people who are near together, but they have different cultures. Like there are people who have the culture of circumcision. Like you find to, when you become a man, to know that you're a man, when you've reached that age where to be recognized as a man, and that culture is still there, and people perform ceremonies. You find you go and then they circumcise you publicly without even and imagine nowadays I think they do it with the help of medical professionals, but those days
still publicly.
Whoa. And you walk around naked.
Whoa. I would like to see that.
So then when you move in the north part side, you find people who have a culture sort of like for the Kenyans, tall people, very dark skinned, and basically they are like Maasai, but they are more of like Sudanese, South Sudanese.
Okay, I get it.
But still they are different from South Sudanese, because they have their own culture, and basically a lot of diversity in the country, which we can take long to speak about.
I get it. Okay, on my side, what concerns where I am from, basically in Congo and here in India, one of the things which I can just say like directly without even going far, like the place where I'm from in Goma, which is on the eastern side of Congo, like it's a region which is a city, and if I can compare like to a city like Vadodara, I think they cannot be exactly same, but some of the differences which we could have, I might not have a lot of differences which can be African traditions, because Africa tradition have been kind of like it's melted too much in the European tradition, that it look as if our tradition look as if it's the European tradition, but still there is the African tradition which we have, and we still practice a lot of African things, but some of the things, like as you said, like I don't know, maybe circumcision and traditional party or traditional events, we don't have them a lot, as you just explained for you. Maybe the tradition events which we still have is maybe for marriage. For marriage, like there is a tradition of going to meet the family, and then they have to perform some stuff there, talking this, they have to bring this, they have to bring this. Maybe that's the only thing which I still recognize as an African tradition.
Yeah.
But the remaining, it's pure European. Like we just don't have anything which we have again for ourselves.
Yeah,
I think
actually,
you're even better than us on that one.
On the side of their marriages, you are actually right, because you find there's still the tradition of dowry, and basically men are the ones who give dowry, and mostly they have to give cows.
Oh, all right. Yeah. For us, it's still same. Like there's some tribes on which they give cows. There are other tribes on which they give goats.
Yeah.
There are other tribes on which they give like just anything. Wait, there are these things which walk. I don't know if I can say walking. Like they're so slow. They kind of. Les escargots, c'est quoi en anglais? Snails.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that snails. Like there is even a tribe where to give dowry you have to bring bags of those stuff. Like there are just so many. But for us in Congo, that's culture is kind of lost. That instead of giving all those things, you just have to get money, and then you come and give the money instead of giving cows. Like we no longer have that culture of bringing cows. You can bring one cow or one goat as a symbol, and then the remaining you just bring money as cash. Even the dowry is no longer done as kind of physical stuff. Okay, so thank you for that. But the diversity, like what are the things which you recognize, like even from your first sight, and like what comes first in your mind as difference between Africa and India? India in general and Africa in general, not only your place.
Well, in general, I would say in Africa, the diversity is Africa is just mixed up, because when you look at Africa, when you look at the African map, like you find one country has all the diversity the whole country has, which is different from India. When you come to India and you stay in, for example, like a city in a state like Gujarat, you will not see the whole diversity that represents the whole of India. Okay. For example, like in Uganda, you will see tall, dark-skinned people. You will see medium, maybe say normal size, I don't know, 5-6 feet.
Whatever.
Yeah, feet, light colored people. Then you go to the southern part of Uganda, west, and you see very short people, and you see people who look like the Ethiopians, but they are Ugandans and they have their origins in Uganda. So when you look at the whole map of Africa, you find like each kind of those people, they have other people they look like. And also when you read about like the origins of each, you find like the Bantu tribes who originated from the Cameroonian highlands. You find like actually people are the same, they kind of speak the same languages. But when you come here in Gujarati and you read about the diversity of India, you will not see all that in India. Because when I first came in India, of course I had some misconceptions about India. Like I thought all Indians put on the turbans and especially turbans, if I can concentrate on that example. But when I reached at Mumbai airport, of course I did see most people putting on turbans, like some people. But when I came here in Gujarati, I hardly saw anyone, so I was confused. Like I didn't get the state of mind like as if I was in India until I came to realize like if you want people who put on turbans, if you want to see more of them, you go to Rajasthan. Like here in Gujarat, it's basically people who are not Sikhs because of this part not having many Sikhs and all that. So
yeah, I get it. Okay, so what are the differences which you recognize between Africa and India?
Well, the differences are in like weddings, of course, different weddings, and then the dances, the culture dances are different. The Indian Gujarati even culture dances are sort of classic, like as they say in their their names of those dances. They are sort of classical and sort of choreographed perfectly, but in our and smooth. But Africa, it's sort of energetic. It's energy.
Aggressive.
Yeah, it's aggressive. There is a lot of energy and jumping and a lot of face masks.
Exactly. Yeah, most of our dances,
face paintings and trying to trace back the roots of our ancestors and putting on like the back clothes made from the back tree and also
even skins of animals, of lions, of tigers.
Exactly. Those the skins of animals, basically, because most of our ancestors were hunters.
Exactly.
And then most people used to put on the skins as their dress. So you find like when ceremonies happen, we bring all that and make sure that we don't leave it out. But here in India, you find like things look sort of modern. When you look at the dances, they are modern.
And one more thing I saw also, it's like the Indian culture looks kind of, I don't know if I'm the only one who sees it that way, but it looks kind of royal. I don't know if I'm explaining it the proper way. Like if you see the way they build houses, like those palaces, the way they build temples, it look kind of like a king place. The way they dress, it look like you are someone who is a king. Like if it was in Africa, the way someone look like maybe going for a wedding, it's kind of a king. But in Africa, when we dress our traditional stuff, most of them you will find that the man is shirtless, like there is nothing on the top, and then maybe you have some leaves down, and then you mask your face, and then some stuff like that. But for them, things look like king stuff, and like I just don't understand. But I've seen the difference. So would you say that the African culture is wide more than the Indian culture?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you explain yourself?
Because when you talk about the African culture in general, you would see very many things. Like you go to the south part of Africa, you find Africans basically dance, especially women dancing with breasts out, and you're like, wow, these people also exist. Like, okay. Then you go to 3 countries. You go to Congo, Central African Republic, and Uganda. All countries, the way how they are neighboring each other, you find there are short people. You go to Ethiopia and Somalia, you find like tall people with long noses and all that. You go to Egypt and the northern part of Africa, you find people who are light skinned. You go to the south part and you find different things which just surprise you, and you find like it's the learning is just endless.
I would like to ask you something. We have I know personally, not so many kind of people in Africa. We have Bantu, we have Nilotics, and we have now the other
Hamites, Kushites.
Exactly. The Kushites, we can trace them among the Nilotics, like they're from the side of Ethiopia. So like me, I want to take like people in general. We have Bantu, we have Nilotics, and then we have the other ones who are like kind of light skinned, like those guys in the side of Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, and other stuff there. So would you say that Bantu are different among themselves?
Yeah, obviously. Like the only way to recognize Bantu, it's because of the reason why they are called even Bantu. It's because they have different languages, very many languages which are different, can't understand each other, but there is always that some words with the in 2 words, like they will Bantu in 2 words. So and you find like some words they share meanings. Like for example, like Robert Mugabe, his name Mugabe is basically most people are called Mugabe in Uganda and shares the same meaning. It sort of means king. And I bet you would find even different places.
I was surprised even my name Muhombo, in Angola there are people who are called Muhombo and it has another meaning there. Like I even saw, I don't know what was that. But there is another place also where there is a river which is called Muhombo. Like, I was just surprised. Yeah, I was just surprised with those things. And in fact, even in Rwanda, just the neighboring country to Congo, there is a village which is called Muhombo by itself. When it has a meaning in Congo, like from the tribe of my father, they told me that, like, I didn't know, so I asked. When they told me that it means someone who gives a lot, like someone who gives everything. That's the person they call Muhombo. And in Rwanda, it has another totally different meaning. And in Angola, it has another different meaning. But they are kind of related, all of them.
Yeah, but mostly you are likely to find some words are similar.
Exactly, that's true. That's
people from Zimbabwe, like when they speak Shona, I hear some words and I'm like, does this word mean this?
Sound,
and they say
familiar.
yes, and I'm like, but this word also means this in our own language.
True.
Yeah, so you find like there is that similarity. So yeah, the Bantu tribe is basically also very diverse, even different dances of culture. And
so we can just conclude with saying that Africa is so wide that it's hard to know everything. It's hard to know everything about Africa. It's hard to know every region about Africa. It's hard to know about every tribe in Africa.
But the people whom I've seen, actually, the only tribe that I've seen in Africa that has sort of a classical dance is the tribe of like the Hamites. I think Rwandans are Hamites because they have their origins from Ethiopia.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you see their dance,
I think their tradition,
they have the classical dance.
Most of Nilotics, even in the history, they're among the people who were opened to the world since before. Like they're in the Bible, they're in the Quran, they're in so many historical places, like places which shows that they were open to the. And even Ethiopia is the only country in Africa which was not colonized. And that was because, like, you know, they had a fight with Italians first, and Italians failed to enter there because they had guns. Like, they were the first Africans who could have guns. So I think even their style of dancing and other stuff could easily change because they had that access to the outside world and they could try to learn from other people outside.
But it's because they had mountains and...
Oh, yes. I remember. But like, I heard someone explaining that, and even about Rwanda, explaining of their dance and the culture of why, their pastors. Sorry, how can I explain pastors? Like, they are farmers, like they keep cows.
Yeah.
So the dance which they have is even related to cows. Like they speak of horns. When you're doing your hands like this, it shows the horns of a cow.
Even the Ankole tribe, that's the same dance.
Okay.
It's also sort of classical. It's not. It doesn't have a lot of energy.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like I was even surprised with that. You know, like when I'll be seeing in Congo, the way we dance in Congo, and just neighbor to us, Rwanda, the way they dance is totally different.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
We expect such people to have the same dance.
Yeah, sure.
But
so
the dances are different.
Let's talk about something which is one of the topic which is very important for me is the African culture, like how it's losing, how it's being forgotten now, that we can sometimes look at the African culture and feel as if we don't have any culture. Like we have lost the biggest part of the African culture. Would you say that we lost the biggest part of our African culture?
Yeah, I would say, and I would not. It depends, but of course, like if you're comparing the losing of culture in Africa, the rate at which we are losing our culture, it's higher than how Indians are losing their culture, basically. Because in Africa, okay, when I start, if starting from the Indian point of view side of things, you see like people here, they have tried to preserve their culture. You see like the way, the way of dressing, the piercings, their weddings, even language.
Yeah.
But when you go to Africa, people who have grown from urban cities, they don't know their own language. The way how we attend parties,
those are me.
we no longer attend parties in our own traditional wear, because there are decent traditional African wears like long kanzus and but people don't wear that nowadays.
True.
Wear Western kind of stuff, and we find languages. Of course, I've spoken about that, and we don't even there is no specific country in Africa, I think, apart from Ethiopia, that has a national language based on their own roots. It's only a Western language.
Yeah, exactly. And the mix of Swahili with other stuff, and like for example, the case of Eastern Africa. So
and you find here people are still believing in their own gods.
Yeah, exactly.
And still having their own religion, and we completely lost that. Most people are either Christians or Muslims, but here you find, no matter how they're Muslim, Arabs and British Christians, no matter how they tried to invade the Indian culture and change,
it's still there.
But still they remain strong, and then they remain preserving their roots. And you find, like,
so do you think Africa needs to recover its culture, like its tradition?
I think it's
or we can just continue with what have been there and live like that?
I think it's very hard, because when you see the reason why it's very hard to recover the culture back, it's because most people who are learned and who have studied, like, they see it to be backwards.
Exactly.
Like, they see to recover the culture and sticking to the culture, it's like back. They see, if you even talk about that, recovering the culture, they would see you as maybe a Negro, arrogant person, and they see that to be it's not possible.
How do you think you as an African, how do you think Africa can still be proud of their culture when it's kind of lost now? How do you think we can still say we're proud of our culture?
I think the only way we Africans, they can be made to be proud of their culture, it's if people who have grown up without a culture, like, for example, like the Black Americans who trace their roots back to Africa, but they haven't had the chance. If they come back and they make Africans realize what a treasure they have, to still have some components and elements of their culture within them, and make them realize how important it is to conserve their own culture. Or if and only most Africans are open to the world and shown that actually even the culture they are trying to leave behind and take on other people's culture, that's not the way how other people are doing it. Other people are trying to get the good elements of other cultures and then putting them into their own culture, but they are still conserving their own culture. Because when you see Indians have their own culture very well preserved, which can be shown in temples, dances, and all that, and also even the Western people, Western part of the world, it has its own cultures preserved. When you go to the Arab side of the world, you find people still have their own cultures preserved well and intact. But in Africa, people are trying to throw that away and trying to copy what other people are selling to them, basically.
So I think what you just said is very important, and I've been witnessing that as well. Like, as you said, people who kind of don't have a culture, when they try to retrace their roots in Africa, they now understand the value of them. And I have seen that too, being in India, after seeing how they give value to their culture. Like, it made me think of, why don't I try to bring back also my culture and respect it and give it value. And I think it's one of the things which, without even being pushed by how we see others being interested in their culture, I think it's just something which Africans should try to take back and understand how important their culture is. So,
and I think one way we can recover our culture is, one difference you notice from Africa and India is that you find there is no Indian. Okay, there are some. I'm not saying there is no, but most in my class, you find there is no Indian with a English name.
Exactly.
But in Africa, you find or
Yeah,
it's either
yeah.
a Christian, like of course English name, or
Yeah.
a Muslim
Yeah.
Arabic name.
Sure.
But here you find Indians who are Muslims, they have an Arabic but
An Indian name, exactly.
Indian names
Sure.
mostly.
And that's a very good thing. You know, names define us, and once we lose our names, we can no longer say that we even have a culture. So I'm very happy with everything I've just discussed with you, and I'm sure it can help someone again and know more about the African culture as the Indian culture as well. As I said before, I want this platform to be a place where we can exchange and learn more about cultures of all around the world. We have so many things which we would like to learn from you, from me, and from everyone from everywhere. So I would like to use this chance, and I would like to use this platform, and it's not going to be limited to here only. It will go even outside of here, to be a place where we can easily share about who we are and what we have, what we think, how we act. Like, I've just been surprised by just talking to him from things from his culture, and there are things which we don't do in in Congo, and it just surprised me. And I think I have as well things from Congo which he could be surprised to know about, but we will have more to discuss about that. So thank you so much for being with me here right now, and I will be sharing more with you about cultures, as right now I'm in India. Hope to get more about India, and anytime soon you are going to receive many contents from outside of India and from everywhere in the world. There are so many people who will be invited here. We'll talk to them online, or they will come directly here so that we can discuss about so many topics which can be related to differences of cultures in the world, and we will be very happy to see you again coming to watch us next time. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much also, Daniel, for being around and for accepting your invitation and being here with us to explain to us about Uganda. Anything?
Yeah, I think it's been a pleasure to have pioneered this platform, Muhombo Live, and I think maybe I'll be coming here often.
Yeah. This is your place.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm very happy, especially for the support which I get from people, for people who want to learn and bring a change in this world. This will be a good place for us to bring a difference in this world, killing all the stereotypes which are all around the world concerning everyone, and live as humans to love each other and support each other. So thank you so much for being here, and catch you next time.